We're back with David Bailey, and we're having a great conversation about songwriting. So we just talked a little bit about songwriting in general, big picture, and now we want to zoom in a little bit and talk about worship songwriting, or writing songs for congregational worship, right? The songs that we take and put into people's mouths as they praise God, which is a pretty big deal, and even could be kind of scary, right? So David, you've talked to us about songwriting, but give us some more tips when we think about worship songwriting.
Well, when it comes to worship songwriting, I think you got to start off with a basic foundation, and that is, it's like you just need to craft really great songs. One thing I forgot to say earlier is that part of what makes really great songwriters are that they write a ton of great songs. They might write 10 or 20 bad songs
Mm-hmm.
so they can get to one really good song. And then even like, they write these 20 songs, maybe 10 of them might be bad, 5 of them might be halfway decent, or 8 might be halfway decent. Like rarely do they write like a song that's a hit. So even, that song Yesterday by the Beatles?
Yeah.
Like it was originally the original lyrics, like I think it was Paul McCartney woke up with the melody,
Uh-huh.
and he was like singing scramble eggs. I got to get my scramble eggs. And so eventually it became Yesterday. I forgot the
La 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 la.
yeah, and so they made like this. So, but it took the editing, right? It took the it reminded me of Michelangelo when he said that somebody asked him, "How did you create the David? This great sculpture. It's a beautiful sculpture," and he says, "I just kept on chipping away and sanding away to all that was left was David," and like that is some of the fundamentals of just great songwriting. So then when you bring this into like a congregational context, here's a couple of things to think about. I mean, one of the things that we think about urban doxology is that we see that worship leaders are theologians first, and so you don't think about yourself. You might think about like the preacher as a theologian, but you got to realize that people are going to remember that song before they remember that sermon.
Yes.
And so what you want to do is think about, how am I representing God? And here's the thing. Another tip is, don't say something cliche. We say the very first day, we aren't writing any Jesus is my boyfriend songs, and we aren't saying stuff that's already been said. We're trying to say something in a fresh and a new way. There are like 66 books in the Bible. There are like so many different genres of style, even like the way that the Bible is written. Some of it's narrative, some of it's poetry, some of it's like prophetic literature, some of it's like an account of like Luke is an account of what happened to Jesus, and like the Gospels account. Some of them are letters. And so some of these are like wisdom genres of like their day, of like philosophers talking. And so what you want to do is like explore these various different ways of talking about God. You don't have to talk about God in the same way that the top CCLI songs or the top gospel songs. Chris Tomlin, you don't have to talk about it the same way. Like they're talking about it in a way. Why don't you make a different contribution? And so that's one of the things that we share and express. And then because you're representing God, and you want to think about things like the image of God is made in all people. So different people groups have different ways of expressing. Like some people might have more celebratory culture. Some people have maybe more contemplative culture. So could you say like, man, maybe this thing that I'm trying to communicate could I express this in a different cultural style? And that kind of adds a different layer of like creativity that could be engaged. And the last thing I'll say is we try to not use the word congregational, because sometimes it could have a connotation about it, right? Like
tell me more.
Sometimes when people think about like congregational, they're thinking about like, can this be read out of a hymn text? But what if you don't come from a culture that reads out of a hymn text?
Yeah.
You can get away with a lot more, right? So like if you're reading out of a hymn text, then the rhythms need to be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But if I just say when, sing da 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 da, you can go back da 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 da. If you had to read that, that'd be a lot more complex, right?
Yep.
And so most of us today in church, like the general culture, it's a more oral type of an auditory experience, right? And so what we try to say is not necessarily congregational, so we don't think about that like hymn book context, but we try to say repeatable, right? Memorable. So what you want to do is you want to create the kind of songs that can be easily repeatable. So think about all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. It's a call and response, right?
Yeah, it's an earworm too.
Yeah, and it's just like it's really simple. Da 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 da. You repeat it. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And then even when you go into verse, da 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 da. Super simple, super repeatable, and that's what you want to do in your congregational songs.
I like that. So memorable instead of
Yeah.
congregational,
Yeah.
which in the end becomes more congregational
Yes.
than if you just kept that word, right? Because you're engaging the congregation. You're letting them own it, and they're
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah, I mean, you've been to a Beyonce concert, like everybody's singing it, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and because it's memorable.